What would you say if you were asked whether you thought mental ill health had got worse as a result of the COVID pandemic? Hello, you're listening to Well Intel Daily. I'm Annie Hood. This is the podcast that explores big picture themes and what they mean through a well-being lens. It can be difficult to avoid falling into the trap of mainstream opinion on something that instinctively feels true and rational. And whether or not the COVID-19 pandemic triggered a second pandemic of elevated mental ill health is a question that scientists, media, and philosophers, and you and I, are either asking or answering for ourselves. My own instinctive answer would be that yes, that has happened, that I do think mental ill health has got worse since March 2020. But research by the British Medical Journal, or BMJ, released just last week, and I'll put the report in the episode notes. That research suggests otherwise. Not that levels of mental ill health aren't still worryingly high, but that the deterioration of the general population's mental health in specific relation to the pandemic is largely unfounded. And it's worth saying that there are still many unanswered questions, and there has been a rise in suicide rates in the US since March 2020, but standing the elevation of mental ill health cases squarely at the door of the COVID period is being challenged. Now, from another perspective, and if you're a curious soul, read Blindsight is 2020 by medical journalist Gabrielle Bauer. It will give you pause and it will excavate space for questions. It's about the decisions made during the pandemic relative to lockdown, societal impact, and the effects on mental health from many perspectives and viewpoints. And some of that gathered evidence contradict the findings of the BMJ. The takeaway here, particularly if you're managing a team, heading a company, you're a teacher, a parent, or just a curious soul, is that the status of mental health and well-being for individuals is a dynamic and ever-changing reality. Your team or students may well look to you for guidance. And by being able to offer a broad spectrum view that has several perspectives is both valuable and also empowering for both of you. And this also matters because if you've suffered or you know of people who have, to read that research suggests little to no impact is triggering. You and I want to feel heard. You want to feel seen and that you matter, and you do. Tomorrow, getting wilder for wilding, from biodiversity to sleeping and swimming in the wild. In the meantime, please follow, share, review, and of course, be well.